Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Yeah, the old clock says it's 5 o'clock. Beer 30. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Thanks a bunch for stopping by, I do appreciate it. Guys, we're going to do, today's beer is AleSmith Brewing Company. These guys are out in California. This is their Speedway Stout. And guys, I've reviewed this beer several different times, but it's always been in the great big 750 milliliter bottle. This one is in the 16-ounce can. So this will be the first one that I've done since they started doing it in the can instead of the great big bottles. And all the bottles that I've reviewed before now have been fairly old bottles. Stuff I've been cellaring, and I think I did one about 6 months ago, and it was like a 2015 edition that I've had for a while. I've been cellaring in the closet. And I think I did a 2014 before that. I'm not sure exactly when the other one was, but I know I've reviewed it a couple of times in those big bottles. This was sent to me by Sean, and he writes that he had 2 cans that he had cellared almost a year ago, that he discovered the beer is good, but it's too much for him. This is a big beer. It's a 12%er, guys, but it's brewed with coffee, so you need to drink these fairly fresh to get those big coffee notes. And this one that he had sent me said it was canned on 12/12 of 2019, so it's already pretty close to 8 months old. I'm still hoping I'm going to get, says it ages beautifully here on the back of the can, but coffee doesn't age very good. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but most of the ones, in my experience, you get bigger coffee notes when it's a month, 2 or 3 in the package than you do a year, 2 or 5 down the road. You're going to get, it's just like hops, guys. Coffee fades just like hops does. So we're gonna find out here just in a minute or so. He says, I hope that I enjoy the package. Of course, not sure if you've ever reviewed this particular one already. And yes, John, I've done it several times, but not in the can. So that's the reason I'm going to go ahead and review it. I just got this the other day. So we're going to see what the can version brings to the table. And this is a 2019, so this is the freshest one that I've had. And I think I still got one more of those 2014 or 15 750 milliliter bottles in the closet there that's been cellaring for a long, long time. And it's probably going to sell it for another year or so, maybe even longer. I'm not sure when I'm going to drink it. I don't know if I'm going to review it. I'm just going to drink it. I don't have any idea. So, with that being said, let's jump over to Untapped. They have it at 70 IBUs. And it says a huge imperial stout that weighs in an impressive 12% ABV. And if that's not enough, we added pounds of coffee for a little extra kick. So, final beer of the evening for me. Black can, and it is a printed up can, guys. They have printed these cans up. They make some very tasty beers. It's even got a black top on this black can, but it's silver on the bottom part here. So, and it's got a big thing on the back here, and I'm not going to read all that on there. And pitch black, corn, chocolate and roasted malt, stomach flavor, and fruit, toffee, caramel. So, it's a imperial stout with coffee. So, let's get it opened up and get it into the glass. And it's a 12%er. Let's see how carbonated it is. It seems to be very well carbonated, so I better back off on that down the center pour. Very dark coming out of the can. Guys, the ones I've reviewed, I didn't go back and watch them, but from what I remember, this is a very impressive beer. That is a super carbonated 12% imperial stout. That's about all I can get in. There's quite a bit left in the can here. That's 2.5 fingers of head on a 12% imperial stout. little heavy on the carbonation in my opinion, but it is what it is. Good looking beer. No light coming through. Good looking stout. This is a tad overcarbonated in my opinion, but that's, again, just my opinion. So it's all a good looking beer. And the AC is kicking on, so that fan is in there running. I was hoping to get this done before it did that. But anyway, let's get it to the nose and see what we got. Rich roasted malt. A hint of coffee in there. Caramel, toffee, maybe some black molasses. And maybe a slight hint of some bittersweet chocolate. Very pleasant beer. The bourbon barrel version would probably be my favorite in their Speedway Stout. But still, very impressive roasted malt and coffee. So let's find out what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Sloan. Sean, thank you very much for sending me the beer. Definitely, after 8 months, still has a very tasty coffee notes to the beer. Like I said, sometimes it lingers around, and sometimes it fades pretty quick. So this one still has it. This would not be a beer that I would want to cellar for a long period of time, unless you just want to. I mean, you're going to get stronger coffee notes the fresher that it is, and that's where we're going to leave it. Very creamy, very smooth. The alcohol seems to be very well hidden to me for a 12%er. 70 IBUs on up there, but takes a lot of bittering hops for a 12% beer. Let's have a little bite to it. This is a big boy's beer. Drink this one at home, guys. Don't think you're Macho Man and you can go out and drink one or two of these out and drive somewhere. That would be a big mistake. Drink responsibly, guys. If you're going to drink this out and not at home, make sure you have a designated driver or a way to get home. Don't drive after you've had a couple of these. That would be a risky adventure, and you could get hurt or you could hurt somebody else. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that. So let's see if I can get the rest of this in there. It may be tough, as carbonated as this thing is, but let me pour it fairly slow. See if I can get it all in there. Boy, that head is gonna be close. Gonna be close. I think we got everything. If there's anything that's settled into it, and now it is very chocolatey. A little different color coming out in the very back end pour. It's a little darker. Yeah, I think we got it all out there. Glad they're doing the can version of it. Little mini keg is what I call these cans now, guys. Very creamy looking on top. Almost looks like yogurt. Nice khaki colored head. A good looking beer there. What do you think? Tasty beer. It was a long time I couldn't get these beers. I had to go to North Carolina and other, trade for them or have them sent to me or whatever. But now a lot of their beers are available here. But they're not cheap. They're not cheap beers to buy. But you gotta figure, I mean, it's a 12%, it's Imperial Stout, they brewed it with coffee, so it's a pricey beer to brew. So, with that being said, once again, thanks to Sean. You know the deal and the drill. We're gonna sip on this for a little bit and go out on the deck. Maybe hit that Maduro cigar. Those cigars, to me, are my favorites with these darker beers. We'll come back and do that final chug of grape. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sitting on about an hour or so. Very nice slicing that's left on the glass. This is an impressive beer if you're into the Imperial Stout, especially the coffee stout. Very, very well made beer, guys. I think it's a super impressive beer, especially being 8 months old and the coffee notes are still as strong as they are. I'm sure they would have probably been real impressive in December or January. than they are now here in August. But still a very tasty beer, even now that they're canning it instead of putting it in those big bottles. So it makes it less expensive to buy. You're not buying that great big bottle anymore. You're buying a little 16-ounce can. And so it may be a little easier on your pocketbook. He did not tell me what he paid for this beer. I don't know how much less expensive it is. I'm sure it is, but I haven't looked for this beer recently, and I don't know if they're still doing the 750 milliliter bottles, or they're doing cans only now, or what their packaging strategy is. But it's still a very tasty, impressive beer to me. For what it is, and like I said, I think the bourbon barrel version may be a little tastier to me, but I don't think the bourbon barrel version has coffee in it. I'm not sure about that, but it is still a very well-made beer. So, final chug. Very nice. Now that it's warmed up to room temperature, very nice coffee notes on the aroma. Nice rich roasted malt. Very impressive beer. These guys make some really tasty stuff, especially these darker beers. It's super smooth to me, even though it's 12%, and Sean said it was a little heavy for him. If you're used to drinking lighter beers, this could be a little heavy. It could be a little boozy. But to me, I mean, with all the beer reviews, I'm over 3,900 now. It's not. I mean, it's very, very tasty to me. If I had this beer 10, 11 years ago, it might have blown my palate out of my mouth. It might have been super boozy to me, but that's what I'm saying. It all depends on what you're used to drinking, what you like to drink, and where your palate is. If you're used to drinking Bud, Miller, or Coors, and you jump into something like this, it will, you know what I'm saying, it will put your face down in the dirt, and it may seem like you're drinking rubbing alcohol. But to me, I think it's super tasty, guys. It's very impressive. Not going to get to 10 this time, but it's damn close. And if you say, oh my God, that's the best thing I've tasted, it's a 10 beer, are you crazy? No argument here, guys. 98 for me on this. Very, very tasty. I think it's a very impressive coffee imperial stout. Even now that it's 8 months old, I'm still getting the coffee notes, and it's still tasty. So, like I said, glad they're doing a canned version, and maybe a little easier on your pocketbook buying a 16-ounce version instead of a 750 milliliter version. So, and you don't have to drink all of that at one time if you don't have somebody to share it with. So, very nice, very nice. Very enjoyable beer. You need to pick this up if you can get your hands on it and you like this style of beer. 98 for me, guys. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 97. We're damn close on those grades there. And final check-in is from Untapped, and they have it at 4.19. That's in their A- scale. I think it's a tad better than an A-. I'm in the upper end of the A category. So, very well done beer. So if you've had the newer version in the can, let me know what you think. I think it's just as tasty as the bottle version, and it's an impressive coffee imperial stout. Very well done. So if you've had it, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.